I just want to remind you guys that you can submit your work for critique on my channel through my subreddit. All you got to do is go to istebrak.com, click on this button right here. That's my subreddit icon. This is where we do everything. This is where we go to submit our work, our 14-day challenges. This is where community challenges happen. This is where everyone is talking. This is where the talking happens. This is where everyone meets up. And my masterclass is on sale. If you go to my website, my masterclass is on sale. Let's take a look at this face. So this face has an accidental expression. It's a little bit uncomfortable. And here's a quick clue for where expressions come from on the human face. The eyebrows are the powerhouses of expression on the human face. All right? So these eyebrows are lifted up on the inside. There's like an upward curve. All right, so if you were to draw a line from edge to edge, there's a little bit of a dip. And the character's mouth is secondary. The mouth can carry a lot of expression as well, but the eyebrows, I feel like, for me personally, do a lot. The mouth also looks a little bit uncomfortable. The lower lip is pulled in. Usually when we're disgusted, just imagine the most disgusting thing you've ever seen. You're just gonna kind of like, you know, like you're just gonna lift your lower lip up and tilt your chin back. Like, ew, this is the opposite of appetizing. My jaw, which eats, is pushing away from this disgusting thing. So that's what it looks like this character is doing. So the eyebrows plus the mouth, that's an expression. So let's like emoji it. 1 second. I'm trying to figure out how to. It's just like that basically. Is I guess the emoji version is just that. That's kind of like grossed out or worried or scared. Some people might see this and think scared. Some people might see this and think disgusted. For me, I kind of see disgust, kind of like ugh, like. You know, but some people might think like worried or, oh, like what is that? That's terrifying. Oh my gosh, somebody just told me somebody died. Do you see what I'm saying? So accidental expression happens when you don't know what you're doing with the eyebrows. You're just kind of painting like this. Okay, I gotta finish the eyebrows, gotta finish the eyes, gotta finish the nose, gotta finish this half of the mouth. So you're noticing this character, I'm painting it zoomed in, and that's why I'm making mistakes. The more you zoom out, the more you take breaks and come back to the painting, the more it'll just hit you. It'll just jump out at you that, oh, my character looks a little bit disgusted. So let me show you what neutral expression looks like, and then you'll see what it looks like without the expression. So I'm just going to neutralize. Neutralize, is that the word? Neutrify. Neutralize sounds very aggressive. So I'm just gonna normalize the expressions. Target neutralized. That's what it sounds like. All right. So these eye sockets are not aligned with the eyelid. Make sure they're aligned or at least in sync to some level of the anatomy. Maybe not every eye is the same, but try to keep things consistent and uniform when you can. Okay, and then for the lips, I'm going to get rid of that brother expression and try to do something a little less disgusted. This means that the Cupid's bow doesn't feel stretched out in disgust, with the upper lip kind of going like, ooh, brother. I've never loved a meme more. And I'm just going to make the lips kind of just normal, neutralized. And then I'm going to make the nostrils a teardrop shape. You've just made little 2 circles. Is this a little piggy? No, it's a human being. So the human being noses are just a little bit elongated because the nose itself is sticking out. So if the nose sticks out, it creates an elongated look to anything attached to it that isn't pointed at the camera or above at the camera. Just like stripes on a car. So no, and even then, noses are not perfectly circular in shape either. They're teardrops. So you got two reasons why: perspective and the actual shape. All right, ready to see the previous expression? Do you see that? Kind of like in pain, kind of tired. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's a lot of expression. And if you put a little bit of expression in every feature, you're going to get one big expression. Do you see what I'm saying? It doesn't always have to be, oh, well, I didn't mean to have a crazy expression anywhere. I was just kind of just painting the features on their own. Yes, but added up, it's going to read as something. What? It's up to interpretation of the viewer. But for me, it's more like disgust. For someone else, it might be sadness or near crying. It's different for everyone, depending on how they feel. Okay, so now that I've figured that out, I'm just going to point out some really important things for you. The head is really big for this face. Like, this face is not made for this head. So I'm just going to shrink the head around the face, just so that before and after is still perfectly aligned. Okay, and I'm going to make the cranium squared on the temples. The head is squared on the temples, curved at the top. Okay. So it just looked like there was very little face to go around. And the head was very oversized or swollen maybe. And then I'm just going to make sure the bone structure of the jawline is visible. I'm not painting any particular weight either. No offense against anyone of any particular size. But I do want my character and my students to show bone structure. If they are, after painting a character that is carrying on some weight, then it's going to obviously not show as much bone structure. So it's up to the, the creative aspect of character building at that point. And then you're working with tropes and pre-built templates and all of that. And so making sure that the ears are not supersized. And that was the biggest giveaway, really, was that the ears looked like they were way too big for that face. And then we have the lobes, which need to be aligned with the bottom of the nose. And the top of the ears, which need to be floating in the same space between the eyebrow and the eye, on the eyebrow, just the general eye socket vicinity. All right, and then the mouth, I'm just trying once again to keep the mouth from feeling like it's too expressive. Are you guys ready to see the before and after? Before, after, before, after. So see how big that head was for that face. And this is the full before and after with the expression and the head size. Just pick a spot. You can see how the nostrils are not really human. They don't look like human shaped nostrils. And the mouth was a bit too expressive. It was elongated and kind of like, the chin was kind of like tucked. I don't know how to describe it. And then the eyebrows are just a little bit showing some pain. I know when I'm in pain, my eyebrows really show it. And then the whole head shape. The whole head shape was just not looking very human, I guess. It just looked a little bit like a caricature or a Disney character or one of those dwarves from Snow White. Okay. So this reminds me of that lady that played the mother in Dune. Yeah, I don't know her name. I forgot her name. So what I wanted to add is just a couple of shadows that are necessary for moving forward in your 14-day challenge. The septum, which is the space between the two nostrils, has a shadow, and so do both nostrils. They have a small little line formation shadow. Okay. There's also a shadow for the lower half of the nose. Okay, just there. And then the top half of the head, the top half of the nose needs to be a little bit brighter. Just like that. And then what you have here around the mouth is too much shadow climbing upward. The top half of the mouth is part of the upper lip, which is facing the light quite a bit. So you created this almost stain-like shadow. Okay, and then we've got the lower eyelids, which are really sagging down. The character looks very tired, which added to that kind of that tired slash exhausted expression you had at the start. And so I'm just closing that area off a little bit. Okay, so the 14-day challenge is about finding your ideal character face, the character face that you want to have as your go-to reliable skill set. That skill that you know you can call on when drawing any character, for any theme, for any subject, with alterations within the trope spectrum, of course. So that comes after learning how to paint a portrait. From front view, you learn how to do 3/4 view, and then you learn the different types of faces, heavier, rounder, sharper, the different tropes, and the types of portraits that go with them, and then you just become a character artist. You pick a style, and that's the general journey, that's the general timeline moving forward. But all of these artists will one day be whatever they want to use their art for, but they'll be really good with the portrait aspect because they're getting in on it early and getting all that mileage early. So I'm just smudging that inner eyebrow area just like that. Before, after. Do you see that tired look in the eyes? These are all accidental. The artist did not mean to do these. So what does that mean? That means that a lot of your skill, the good and the bad, is accidental early on. How do you turn it into deliberate? By learning the fundamentals and their names. And it's really just about knowing how to turn this accidental success of the 14-day challenge day 1 into a deliberate success by day 14, knowing exactly what you did with your skill and when to make it look good, not make it look good accidentally. When I was younger, I guess between the age of 16 and 22, I didn't know what I did to make the work look good, because that's around when my work started to look good, quote unquote, proportionate to where I was back then, respective to whatever environment I was in. It was good compared to people around me. But I didn't know what I did to make it look good. I just drew until I liked it. But if someone asked me to draw it again, I'm like, oh my God, no. So all my drawings were so precious to me. And my sketchbook was so precious to me. I didn't want anyone touching it. This one time, this lady took my sketchbook, took my line art and started shading it in my sketchbook at the mosque. And I just brought my art with me to the mosque to show my friends. And I brought my sketchbook, and she took my pencils when I was not there, and she started shading a picture I drew of a girl with a dress. And oh my Lord, I lost my mind. I was so mad at my sister. I was like, how could you let her touch my work? So I was so precious about it. But now I think about that little drawing that I did that was so important to me. And I realized, you know, that's why it was so precious, because it was accidental. That whole success there was just, was something I never thought I'd be able to recreate. And so challenges like the 14-day challenge, the main challenge is, hey, rip that drawing up and start all over. Yeah, you heard me. Rip it up and start all over and know exactly what you did to get there. And that's why you get critique, because people who critique you know the name of these fundamentals. Hey, your contrast looks great here. So you're like, oh, what's contrast? And you learn what that is, and you learn what you did right, and you add it to the things you know you did right, so that next time you know what to do right, and therefore your skill and success next time is deliberate, not accidental. So accidental expression is a symptom of accidental skill. So just from your expression that you had, I can see that you didn't know you even had one. And because you didn't know you had one, you didn't know how to get there. Again, the things you did do right. The things you did right were, the symmetry is great. The outside of the expression in the lips were a great shape. And you had all of the shadows where they needed to go. The eyes look really pretty, and you had nice tapering with the eye socket. So you did a lot of things right. And getting critiques also helps you know what you did right, so you can do it again. So before, after, before, after. These lower eyelid lines, these lower lash line lines are not great. They're really flattening the eye. So if you feel like, hey, these eyes look a bit flat, I wonder why, it's because you basically gave this character eyeliner. Yes, we have lower eyelids in the real world, and we have lower lash lines, but we don't want to use a line where we don't have to. You can add a shade to represent the illusion of texture of the lashes. And I think that's it. And then before, after. So I'm just trying to round off your features. All right, so that's the full before and after. Before, after. So neutral expression. It brought out the really nice features you painted. We can see all the features you painted a little bit more clearly. There's no hiccups or splotches or dents or grooves in all of the features as we see with the eyes. We got rid of characterization. Whoa, we got rid of characterization, which is that patch of shadow underneath the eye, which made him look more sickly or kind of an evil character, or kind of a character that's possessed, or a character that's driven away from society, or a trope that falls in that line. Neutralize all of that. And then the expression is gone as well. Your 14-day challenge should have deliberate choices sourcing from fundamentals you have had a dialogue about or heard someone talking about in a way that is non-abstract. Like, hey, look, before and after, here, this is what this fundamental is. Concrete definition for fundamentals. Wherever you can go to get it. That's how you avoid accidental success. If you guys want to learn more about portraits, I have a masterclass and it's on sale. So the critique hour that I did, the critique that I did at the start of this hour, the portrait, it was just scratching the surface really of the fundamentals that are actually in action in a portrait. And my masterclass covers them all. I have lists of which brush to use where. I give you the brush. I give you a written version of the class. If you're someone who likes lists, I love lists. That's why I provided one. And you just go through it. The reading is synced with the masterclass. So if you watch the reading and read along, if you watch the class and read along, it's just a whole list of the things I did written right there concretely. So you don't have to guess at what the fundamental is. It's right there. And that's why I ask all my students to study portraits first, because everything that happened here, from edges to contrast to detail to symmetry, rotation, will happen, especially on a 3/4 view face, will happen on a painting like this. The fundamentals revisit you later in life with other subject matter, even if it's this kind of subject matter that is completely different. But I'll let you guys go. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next week at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Bye.